agenda item number 11, motions on notice. There are three. Councillor Bopara, you wish to alter the wording of the second paragraph?
That's correct, Madam Chair.
As set out in our agenda pack, supplementary agenda pack. Councillor Vanni, are you happy to agree to the alteration as shown?
Yes.
You are. Thank you. Is Council happy to agree the alteration of the motion?
Agreed.
Thank you. Are there any questions on clarity? None. Councillor Bopara, would you like to do the recommendation as altered?
I do, yeah, agree.
Yeah. Thank you. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This motion is not about changing boundaries. It is about history, equality and respect. It is about recognising the identity, heritage and history of every community that will make up this new authority. Spelthorne is the only part of the new authority north of the River Thames. It has been part of historic Middlesex for more than 1,300 years and has only been attached to Surrey for 60 years. It's time to put right that historic wrong. Like many Spelthorne residents, I was born in Middlesex. Many still proudly write Middlesex in their address, support Middlesex sports clubs, and live their lives across what has long been South Middlesex. That identity did not disappear in 1965, and the pride on display at this year's Middlesex Day proved it. This is also about how services are planned and delivered. I was reminded of that recently by the experience of a local SEND parent who told me when she attended a SEND event in Godalming and was asked where she had travelled from and replied Ashford, the council officer admitted they didn't even know where Ashford or Spelthorne was. That was not intended as an insult, but it illustrates the point perfectly. Too often, Spelthorne is overlooked because we do not fit neatly into people's perception of Surrey. I have personally experienced that myself as a county councillor. At times, it has felt as though I've had to fight much harder than colleagues elsewhere in Surrey to secure the attention and investment Spelthorne deserves. Recognition matters because communities that are recognised are more likely to be understood, valued and properly represented. We are proud to work alongside our Surrey neighbours. Surrey, a name that literally means south of the river, has a proud and distinguished history. Middlesex has an equally proud history. For centuries, the River Thames has marked that distinction. To this day, the Oxford and Cambridge boat race refers to the Middlesex and Surrey sides of the Thames. Question 6 of the Government Local Review specifically recognises that places have distinct identities, heritage and culture. This motion simply asks that those identities are reflected in the name of the authority that will serve us all. We are at the formation of a new authority and the naming will reflect the Council's attitude towards Spelthorne. Is it an integral part of the new authority or something stuck on the other side of the Thames? Calling the new authority West Surrey and South Middlesex changes no boundaries. It will cost nothing extra as we are doing it now, and it takes nothing away from Surrey. It simply gives long overdue recognition to the 107,000 residents of Spelthorne whose historic identity dates back over 13 centuries. During a similar debate a few months ago in the Reigate Chamber, I mentioned the historic Middlesex milestone on Bath Road in Hounslow, the one I walk past every day on my way to school. When I was about 11 years old, it was removed by the local council. Discovering it had gone genuinely knocked me for 6, and even 40 years later, it still hurts deeply. Yes, 51. That experience inspired me to do something positive when I was elected. I arranged the funding to assist a fantastic team of residents in Sunbury and Ashford Common to restore our Victorian finger posts to their former glory. a project that brought so much joy locally and went on to receive national recognition. Why? Because history matters. Names matter. They tell people they belong. They tell future generations where they come from, and they tell every resident that their story and their heritage are respected. Today we have an opportunity to recognise every part of this new authority fairly, honestly and inclusively. I therefore ask Council to support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Parry. 1 minute. Councillor Fanny, are you prepared to second the altered motion, and do you reserve your right to speak?
Yes, I second the altered motion and I reserve my right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. First of all, thank you to Councillor Boparai for a very emotive and emotional speech. But I have to say, I find it deeply dispiriting of all the issues facing the new authority, that changing the name of the council appears to be the Liberal Democrats' first priority. We've got less than 9 months before vesting day. In that time, we must recruit senior officers, establish governance, harmonise services, agree a budget, manage inherited financial debt, build a brand new council from 7 existing authorities. Those are the priorities our residents expect us to focus on. I also have concerns about the motion itself. It contains factual inaccuracies, including the reference to Spelthorne's postal address remaining Middlesex, when postal counties ceased to have any official status many years ago. I fully respect the historic identity and heritage of Middlesex, which as a county ceased, as you say, to exist 60 years ago. And I understand some residents in Spelthorne continue to identify strongly with it. But this authority represents 6 boroughs, not 1, and any decision about its name should reflect the views of our residents across the whole West Surrey. That brings me to the central issue. Where is the evidence that this proposal commands support across West Surrey? This is a significant change, yet it's been brought forward without any public consultation or any attempt to establish whether residents actually want it. My understanding is that the proposal stems from political agreements reached during the Liberal Democrat leadership contest. We understand such a significant decision should not stand or fall on evidence and proper process, not political expediency. There is a branding consultation underway right now, but that omits the biggest part of the branding, which is our name. Why are we not doing that? This is completely illogical. Once vested, this council will itself have the power to change its name through the proper democratic process following consultation, a meeting of a full council and a 2/3 majority. The conclusion I therefore reach, those pushing this decision now lack the confidence this would actually pass following proper consultation and scrutiny. If members believe the proposal reflects the wishes of West Surrey residents, there is a simple solution. Let us ask them. I therefore move the following amendment to undertake a full public consultation across all 6 boroughs. Chair, would you mind sharing the amendment which I've proposed?
I've just emailed it to council.
Thank you. Is that okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Austin. Through you, Chair, the proposed amendment has just been emailed to all councillors, so you should have it in writing before you. But if I could just read it out to you as well. The proposed amendment is that the first paragraph of the motion remains the same, that the second paragraph is removed and then replaced with, this council recognises the historic identity and heritage of the communities within Spelthorne and acknowledges that there are differing views across the area regarding the name of the new authority. This council therefore resolves to undertake a public consultation across all 6 constituent areas to seek the views of residents, businesses and stakeholders on whether the name of the authority should be changed, and if so, what alternative name or names should be considered. The outcome of that consultation shall be scrutinised by the relevant committee and then reported to full council before any decision is taken on securing a change of the authority's name. Thank you.
Is there a seconder for the amendment? Councillor Powell. Councillor Powell, would you like to speak now?
Yes, Chair, I'm happy to speak now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am privileged to be able to second the amendment proposed by Councillor Austin because I believe in democracy and the value of public engagement in decision-making. When the Local Government Act in 1963 set the path to dissolve Middlesex County Council in 1965, it was not something that was voted for and agreed by residents. There was no referendum. It was a political decision. When the government started down a path of local government reorganisation for Surrey, the voice of the people was not the deciding vote. More wanted 3 than 2. There was no consultation on what either half of Surrey should be called. It was simply written as East and West Surrey in the Structural Changes Order. Should the very first act of this new council be to determine a name with no public consultation? Feedback from residents in Farnham is that the majority do not support West Surrey and South Middlesex. There are other proposals circulating, including one from Councillor Mullins, for the council to break away from the Surrey name altogether. And on social media there have been numerous other suggestions, most of which are not repeatable here. Consulting on the name the council should take gives us an opportunity to show residents, businesses and stakeholders we value their views and we listen to them. The Surrey postal address does not stop at the county border. Ushot in the county of Hampshire has a Farnham postcode. My mum lives in Councillor Furness's division in the Sands in Guildford, but she also has a Farnham postcode, and Farnham is very definitely in Surrey. I urge you to support this amendment, particularly as it supports the draft value number 1 of the corporate strategy paper, localism. We put communities at the heart of everything we do. We give communities a say. If it is the will of the majority of residents across the 6 existing districts and boroughs, then I will support it. But my quick local survey shows there isn't support for that name in Farnham. Let's consult on what people would like our new authority to be called, and let's start this new council by showing residents that we truly do care about their views. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Potter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I deal with the substance of the amendment and of this debate, I would just like to express my disappointment that Councillor Austin and Councillor Powell, whilst clearly having had time to pre-write their speeches for this debate, as I've observed in reading, did not have the courtesy to submit this amendment other than at literally the last possible second of the debate. There is nothing, you are indeed procedurally allowed to do that. I'm not going to dispute that this is in fact constitutional. However, other parties have had the courtesy to submit their motions well in advance to enable consideration, and amendments have similarly been submitted in advance to enable them to be considered. I can see no purpose of doing this in this fashion other than a simple instinct towards underhanded tactics.
Oh,
now, I also wish... now, with regards to...
Quiet. Councillor Potter.
Be respectful.
Have you finished with interruptions? Thank you. Now, I wish to also raise that there appears to be some sort of inability to count, because this motion would not be the first act of this council. It wouldn't even be the second or the 5th act. This is our second full council meeting, and this is, what, item 11A on the agenda, so it is clearly not the first act of this council. That's not counting the committee meetings. Councillor Austin made some sort of bizarre claim that this motion is to do with some sort of internal Lib Dem conspiracy around our group leadership election. I would remind Councillor Austin that although she may not be paying attention to what her other Conservative colleagues have been doing, a motion along similar lines was passed by the County Council before the elections to this council even took place. So, and therefore well before the Lib Dem leadership election for this council. So that is spurious nonsense intended to muddy the waters. Similarly, this is quite clearly not the first priority of the Liberal Democrat group, given we have dealt with other items first. But I also wish to point out that quite clearly we are capable of prioritising more than one thing at once. But let us forget here, we are talking about the very early days of this authority, and deciding on our name is probably one of the things we should decide fairly early on rather than later, not least because to do a consultation and then to come back to this again in 6 months' time after we've done the branding or after people have already been employed in contracts adds time, adds money.
30 seconds.
We are elected to represent the people of our communities. Quite clearly, the overwhelming majority of councillors from Spelthorne say that this is what their residents have elected them and what they are concerned about. For I do not see that it should be for us who are not impacted in any way by a name change to seek to thwart the ability of the members from Spelthorne to propose this and have it debated and a decision made today by full council. I will be voting against the amendment for those reasons.
Thank you. Councillor Lewis.
Thank you, Chair. I've listened a lot tonight to various reports, responses. We talk about engaging with our residents. A lot of us here today didn't have a choice when the government have put in about the change to unitaries. But our name change is important to our residents. Like others here, I put out on social media what resident support. Just left it that, what resident support. I had people from Staines, Ashford Park say actually they didn't agree with it. And yes, a lot of people did agree with it in my ward, but I fully get that there are those in Staines, Ashford, and the councillors from Staines here, actually, they believe in why it's needed. But the majority of our residents may not believe in that. We need to bring our residents on the journey. That journey is going to be long, and it's going to be hard. We're all going to be sitting here making hard decisions. But this is one decision that I think our residents need to have a say in. It's not hard. It's actually quite cheap to do an online survey. And I think we owe it to our residents to give them that choice. We also talk about cost. It's been brought up. There is a cost to a name change. We talk about all the IT changes, marketing, etc. That also needs to be investigated and the impact that it's going to have on us and our residents, because our email addresses are already out there. So we do owe it to our residents to let them have a say and help them drive this council forward. On the back of that, I am going to ask for a name vote, please. I'd like support on that.
Thank you. Councillor Howarth.
Thank you. Names are important. They mean things to us. They also, preferably, have a succinctness to them that allows us to do our email addresses, to communicate with people, engage succinctly. A lesson that I might need to learn in speaking to you. Councillor Potter suggests that we've all pre-planned this. I want to engage in the spirit of constructive engagement and politeness, so I won't respond quite in the same tone. What I will say is that I only put a survey out to residents in the last 24 hours, and in 24 hours, just about 24 hours now, I have had 230 responses. So it shows that we can actually engage with people. On the substantive question of whether it should be West Surrey or West Surrey and South Middlesex, West Surrey's winning, but not massively. West Surrey 99, West Surrey and South Middlesex 79 on my survey, which I have to say probably only extends to Woking, Surrey Heath, Runnymede and Spelthorne, because that's where my social media goes to. I would also point out that around 50 people said You guys have other more important things to be considered, to be talking about. And so I hope this debate doesn't go on for too long, but it is important to people. And I think the fact that it's important to people, and the fact that, that 230 people responded in that 24 hours, which is the most responses I've got in that short time ever, shows us that our public wish to be engaged with. In fact, some of them actually thanked me for asking their opinion. I'm sure that many more would like us to ask their opinion. They're serious people. They have passionate reasons not to lengthen the name and include South Middlesex, and others have passionate reasons to lengthen the name and include South Middlesex. Please, can we join with Councillor Austin and show our residents across West Surrey, or West Surrey and South Middlesex,
30 seconds.
or any of the other names that might come up, that we are listening to them and actually engage in this consultation.
Thank you. Councillor Townsend.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I can understand, you know, the varying in opinion on this one. I mean, when I first heard about the motion, you know, I must admit I was a bit ambivalent about it. I can understand, you know, we do have enormous challenges ahead of us, and you know, some people have obviously expressed that there are more important things we could be concentrating on. However, I have listened to my colleagues from Spelthorne, and I have actually spent time in Spelthorne. I went to a session there, listening session, meeting with families, with children and young people with special educational needs. And having spent time in the borough and listening to my colleagues, I've changed my mind, and that has been a recent change. And there, you know, Councillor Austin can come up with fairy stories about this all being pre-planned. That's not true at all. One thing we've talked about repeatedly since the elections is the importance of creating a new council that people feel they belong to. And if we are asking residents to embrace this new authority, then, you know, identity does actually matter. And it has also been said that the name West Surrey wasn't actually chosen through public consultation or anything. It just emerged through the local government reorganisation process. So for many residents, it just simply appeared. So I don't think we should treat it as fixed or beyond discussion at all. And Councillor Powell, I have to say, you know, if you ask people in Farnham, of course they're not going to identify with Middlesex. You know, it's not a pertinent question to ask them. Most of us do identify with Surrey. Nobody within Cranley, where I come from, you know, has been really bothered about the name because they've already identified with Surrey. But that isn't the case for people from Spelthorne. And there is significant support in that area for this name change. And that is from the people who this really does matter to. It is the one part of this new authority with a strong and enduring Middlesex identity. It isn't the only area. It is the only area where many residents, as has been said, still use the name Middlesex. There's a cricket club, you know, and this isn't simply nostalgia. It reflects a genuine sense of place and history that has endured for decades. And during my SEND listening sessions, as I said, in Spelthorne, one of the overwhelming messages was that Spelthorne did feel overlooked, that people didn't know where they were, that they were on the edge of Surrey, and decisions were being made that didn't include them. And I know including the name South Middlesex in our title won't solve those challenges. It's on its own, but symbols do matter. And it sends a clear message that we recognise Spelthorne's unique identity, that we recognise Spelthorne, and that it's not simply an afterthought. And I think that's a really good thing to do, you know. So thank you for listening. I will not be supporting this particular motion, and thank you, Madam Chair. Sorry
Chair, I'd like to move a procedural motion to move immediately to a vote on the amendment.
And I second that, Chair.
So that is seconded. Do we wish to vote? Okay. It is my advice there are 6 other speakers, so we're going to hear those 6 other speakers. Councillor Mullins next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I support this amendment. I mean, all it's asking is that there should be a consultation. It's not saying that, you know, that we have to be West Surrey and South Middlesex. I'd like to ask that if this is passed, this amendment, the name that I've proposed, which is Way and Colne Council, be included in any public consultation. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Morales.
Thank you. As a motion, there's been suggestions that we should have another consultation. There is currently a consultation out on the branding, and I think anyone here can go and tell their residents if they wish to put forward the idea that we should not be changing the name, that could go out into that branding consultation. I personally have spoken to legal officers in Woking. Back in January, they had started a spreadsheet of every single document in the legal department that was a template for court orders and for housing repossessions and planning permissions that all had the name and the logo of Woking Borough Council so that they can change it. When we move towards changing to our new unitary authority, we will have to change every single legal document in every single subsidiary council, and the faster we get that change named or fixed, the better, the cheaper it will be, because we cannot afford to do it once, set off with a West Surrey now and then change to West Surrey and South Middlesex and have to change it all again the day after vesting day. Giving us a consultation, if it's an open consultation with suggest something, we'll end up with voting vote-face. If it's binary, where we have a choice between South Middlesex and West Surrey, or just West Surrey, we could end up with something a bit like happened almost exactly 10 years ago, in which there was a vote that was a binary decision. I think not having a vote and just going forward and saying, people who listen to Surrey County Council will know I did vote for this motion when it came to Surrey County Council. Let's change it to make sure that everybody feels included. It's really important that we start together with the whole of our new unitary authority feeling part of the same unitary, rather than some of them, 20% of them, nearly a fifth, feeling like they're a bolted-on add-on at the end. The change, the cost, the timing, it is essential that we get on and we do not stop and delay it for another 3 months for a consultation. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor McIlroy.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to support the motion for South Middlesex to be included in the proposed county name of West Surrey, as the proposal does not reflect the geography or the composition of our new council. I have supported the campaign organiser for many years in this regard, and I was the author of the original petition that was presented to government. Middlesex remains important to residents. It has a long-standing cultural and historical identity, distinct from Surrey, and identifying the county as West Surrey and South Middlesex acknowledges that heritage. A dual name also supports alignment, despite boundary reorganisation, to preserve legacy and prevent the erasure of an area steeped in tradition and institutions that government would do well not to ignore. Including South Middlesex also follows established practice for newly formed authorities with diverse historical identities. The current proposed name of West Surrey is vacuous, it's hollow, it appears unfinished, and as Councillor Mullen alluded to, who wants to be half of something? I refer, of course, to West Surrey being the other half of East Surrey. Identifying our new council as West Surrey and South Middlesex, it sounds complete. It is certainly inclusive. It also distinguishes us from East Surrey, and I put it to members that it should be recognised in our new county's official title. Thank you.
Just to let you all know, there are a few other speakers. There are now 6 further speakers, at which point we will take the vote. So the next speaker is Councillor Brown.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Can I just start off by saying I find it actually quite shameful of those Liberal Democrat councillors that try to stifle this very important debate that affects the future of this council. I understand why many in Spelthorne have a strong Middlesex identity. Nobody here is trying to erase that history. But once we start the process of trying to change that legal name of the council to reflect one historic identity, where are we going to stop? Now, we've heard suggestions about naming this authority perhaps over local rivers. I think that probably illustrates the difficulty of this approach. I think we risk making up names on the hoof, so to speak. You know, there's no clear or consistent principle for deciding whose history or identity is recognised and whose isn't. As a councillor representing Runnymede, you know, I find it difficult that the motion talks about recognising the historical importance, but says nothing about one of the most historical places in the entire country, Runnymede, where the Magna Carta, which helped shape the constitutional democracy across the whole world. The role of a shadow authority isn't here tonight to debate symbolic issues. It's about getting the council ready for April 2027 by appointing senior officers, agreeing governance, budgets, constitutions. Our residents expect us to focus on all of that. We inherited, as we all know, enormous financial challenges, including £700 million from Spelthorne Borough Council itself. Residents want us focused on these governance, senior appointments, protecting frontline services, not spending valuable time debating what goes on our letterhead. If members believe that there is a case for changing the council name, and they might be quite right, then surely the first step should be to consult residents from across all of West Surrey. Councillor Follows, at our first full council meeting, spoke about the importance of maximising resident engagement in shaping this new authority. I think we all agree on that. A proposal that goes to the very identity of the council is exactly the sort of issue that we should be listening to the views of local residents before we write to government.
Thank you. Councillor Sexton.
Thank you very much. Having spoken to many residents in my area, it is clear there is no overwhelming consensus on the proposed name change from West Surrey to West Surrey and South Middlesex. Let me be absolutely clear. I am not against the name change. Many residents support it, while many others do not. Both views deserve equal respect. My concern is not the name itself, but who should decide. This should be a decision for our residents, not politicians. It is disappointing that this has become a political issue, with some seeking to use it to win votes, when it should simply be about listening to the people that we represent. Residents were denied a voice on the local government reorganisations. Please let us at least give them a voice on the name of their new authority. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Leach.
Thank you, Chair. I would first like to comment really about people who are asking for permission to engage with the communities. You were elected. Are you not doing that already? Why are we asking for an amendment to have permission to then ask them for their views? I have been taking the views of the residents of Hazelmere, and Hazelmere, I will tell you, is far, far, far away from where we are talking about now. But when you say to our residents in Hazelmere, what do you think about the name change? They will say, well, it sounds ridiculous. But when you explain to them, like Councillor Bapari has, and what it means to the residents of South Middlesex, this means a lot. Now, in Hazelmere, we are really, really cross about not being mentioned in the constituent name of Farnham and Borden. We are fuming. We're still not mentioned. We are a bigger town than Borden. And our residents are always shouting for that to be changed. We understand what it's like not to be mentioned. And so, therefore, I will not be supporting this amendment, but I will be supporting the name change. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Moore.
Thank you, Chair. I'll try and be quick. whilst a consultation would be slow and would take up valuable time that we all recognise that we desperately need to crack on with things, it can offer a little bit of anecdotal support, shall we say, to the name change. So the Liberal Democrats as a group spoke to approximately 50,000 people before this election. Now, that's not everyone, but it's a sizable chunk of our unitary authority. We listened to what residents said. Clearly, in Spelthorne, residents raised this issue. All of these issues were raised up, were collated, themes were spotted. So we've got a really clear picture that the residents of Spelthorne really care about this issue. The residents of Woking, not so much. But I suspect if you ask them, and most of the residents that live within our unitary authority about this, I think they would be kind enough to accept the name change and make the people of Spelthorne feel welcome in our new unitary. Thank you.
Thank you. And the last speaker is Councillor MacDonald.
Thank you, Chair. A very interesting debate, and I think we're wise to be reminded of the need for consultation. So whilst I agree with the principle put forward by the Leader of the Opposition, we are unfortunately in a ridiculous time frame here with this whole programme, which doesn't allow us necessarily to do everything we would wish to do in normal circumstances. And therefore I think Councillor Morley does make some very good points around the number of people that we spoke to during the election, and their feedback to us was very clear. We are a nation that continues to evolve our own name to respect changes over time, and we also respect minority groups within it, and therefore what we have here is the bulk of this new council being West Surrey, but the minority of it being the historical part of South Middlesex, and it deserves the same respect by us all as the bulk of West Surrey. So we have the opportunity, and residents have the opportunity, to give some feedback during the consultation exercise, and we can see what that gives us. But I will be voting against this amendment, but I will be very much looking forward to engaging in future consultation exercises where time allows, to make sure the voice of residents very much is heard. And I think I am also mindful of the fact that this whole exercise, I think, was started by the Conservative leader of Surrey County Council putting forward a business case that very much did not consult and did not respect the wider views of the majority of elected officials in the broader West Surrey, East Surrey, and indeed South Middlesex. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I'm just going to say that when somebody's speaking, if we could just all be quiet, please, and listen. Councillor Lee, I apologise. I overlooked that you had already wanted to speak. So, Councillor Lee.
Chair Penny, you're very kind, and thank you. I just wanted to read a quote from a politician. I have received a huge number of representations from constituents who would like the Secretary of State to consider calling the unitary authority West Surrey and South Middlesex, to take account of the fact that Spelthorne has been in Middlesex for 1,000 years and has never really thought of itself as being in Surrey. I find it quite surreal that I'm reading a quote from a Conservative Member of Parliament and finding myself in agreement with him. I think there's clearly complete disarray in the Conservatives who don't seem to quite understand what they're doing or what they want to achieve. But I'm very happy to support the campaign led by Councillor Harry Bapari and obviously supported by the Conservative MP, Lincoln Jopp.
Councillor Bapari, you have a right to reply.
A point of order, Chairman. It does. Councillor Bapari have a right to reply. We're currently dealing with the amendment, are we not? Okay, forgive me.
This
is disappointing because I was hoping this would be apolitical, and this just confirms, Councillor Austin and Councillor Powell, you've just confirmed to 107,000 residents their fears that they're not included. You're missing something very, very, very important. You are all in West Surrey. We are not. All we're asking is for the name to reflect everyone and be inclusive. And you talk about consultations. It's the people in South Middlesex who should be consulted, as they are the ones being excluded. And the people of Middlesex, South Middlesex, have spoken with one voice. And that one voice, the majority of the candidates, if not all of the candidates in the May elections, campaigned on West Surrey and South Middlesex. And all of them are sitting here today. That's 107,000 residents. Now, regarding your consultation yesterday, Councillor Austin, your consultation was on your Facebook account. Out of all the comments, out of all the Surrey Conservatives, sorry, I'm sure you've got the West Surrey Conservatives, not for much longer, not for much longer. And enjoy it while it lasts. And regarding your, regarding the West Surrey Conservatives, for a few more minutes, Facebook account, how many of your comments were hidden? You even blocked the Spell for Lib Dems account. I mean, you are suppressing people's opinions from all across West Surrey and beyond were for it. So let's just hope with your 230 comments, it wasn't the same there. Probably about 198 hidden. How many? One reckon. Okay. So, and Councillor Brown. Councillor Brown. Shameful, you said. Shameful. The opinions of 107,000 residents that you don't recognise.
Point of personal explanation, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Point of personal explanation, if I can. I certainly didn't say it was shameful for any resident to have any opinion. I said it was shameful that the Liberal Democrats tried to silence the important debate that we're having this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Papari.
Thank you. Just want to say I want to vote against the amendment. Absolutely ridiculous. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Austin.
Thank you. Well, an interesting debate. Thank you for some unexpectedly thoughtful comments from Councillor Townsend. I mean that in the best possible way. And from the Deputy Leader, up until the point when he made an incorrect statement about the Leader of Surrey County Council. I strongly push back, I'm afraid, on Councillor Papari's comments, and I would caution him for using such
One
divisive
moment,
language.
Councillor Austin. One moment.
Personal explanation. I think the Leader of the Opposition. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I think the Leader of Opposition is incorrect in her statement. The Leader of Surrey County Council did send a letter in with the business case to the government to kick this whole process off. Thank you.
Thank you for that point of order. Councillor Austin.
Well, I look forward to a serving county councillor cabinet member coming back on that. Now, I strongly push back on Councillor Papari's comments, and I would caution him for making such divisive language, which is frankly unfair and untrue. And by the way, on the point of Facebook blocking, the Leader has blocked me for some time now. Councillor Lewis, I agree about engaging with residents. We do need to bring our residents on board with us. We talk about prioritising localism. All of our informal polling across the other areas of Surrey does show such a divergence of views. Some apathy, to be sure, but a majority do seem to be against, with a number of other names also being proposed. Not one person I'm aware of in my division, in Waverley, Guildford, actually would support this particular name, apart from, so the sounds of it, maybe some of the Liberal Democrat councillors. Residents have come forward with the variety of names, for example, Waves Valley, Surrey Hills. This raises the question, why does one borough area of Surrey get the opportunity to have its name changed? What about the other 5? I'm sorry, the Hazelmere councillor, I didn't catch his name. For his understanding, I'm not asking for permission to consult with residents myself. I'm supporting proper, evidenceable decision-making process. Councillor Howarth, I agree. Howarth, we agree. We could end up with the longest email addresses in history. And let's focus on the big things that matters. Our public do, I agree, wish to be engaged with. Councillor Brown, I agree. No one is trying to erase history. We're a fantastic council area. We should not be making a case for change without checking with those we serve. I'm concerned about the lack of consistency being demonstrated in the council chamber. For a council which states its objective is to be open and accountable, that seems pretty selective tonight. In my years as a Waverley Borough councillor, every minor amendment has required from the Liberal Democrats consultation and equalities impact assessment. So I just don't understand what's going on here tonight. West Surrey may not be sexy, but it does do what it says on the tin. To diverge from this name, as councillors, we need evidence to support that decision. If the majority, following consultation, demonstrate they want this particular name change, then it will be so. But let's not leave this council open to risk from not doing this the right way. In the meantime, the default position should be let's keep the existing name, not the default position that we should change it.
Thank you, Councillor Austin. Thank you. So we are now going to vote on the amendment. Councillor Lewis, are there 10 of you? Okay, so it will be a roll call vote.
Thank you, members. This is a recorded vote. Thank you, Chair. This is the recorded vote on Councillor Austin's amendment.
Please, can you be quiet?
Thank you. As I say, this is the recorded vote on Councillor Austin's amendment, and I will begin with Councillor Bilal Akhtar.
For.
Councillor Alan Ashbury.
Against.
Councillor Atiyam Aslam.
Against.
Councillor Maureen Atwell.
For.
Councillor Jane Austin.
For.
Councillor Anne-Marie Barker.
For.
Against. Oh, sorry. Sorry, don't know what I'm going to say. Against.
Thank you. It's been a long evening. Thank you.
Quiet.
Thank you, Councillor Sally Barker. Councillor Laura Barker. Councillor Richard Barrett. Councillor Phil Basie. Councillor Chris Bateson.
Against.
Councillor Harleen Bapari. Councillor Harry Bapari. Councillor Ben Bristow.
Against.
Councillor Josh Brown. Councillor Keith Buchanan.
Against.
Councillor Jamie Calder.
Against.
Councillor Paul Deach. Councillor Kevin Denis. Councillor David Evans.
For.
Councillor Tony Fairclough.
Against.
Councillor Paul Follows.
Against.
Councillor Matt Furness. Councillor Gladstone New.
Against.
Councillor Angela Goodwin.
Abstain.
Councillor Peter Graves. Councillor Steve Greentree.
Against.
Councillor Marisa Heath.
For.
Councillor Richard Herman.
Against.
Councillor Steve Hives.
Against.
Councillor Julie Hode.
Against.
Councillor Chris Howarth.
For.
Councillor Jonathan Hulley.
For.
Councillor Ian Johnson.
Against.
Councillor Sabi Kang.
Against.
Councillor Nirmal Kang.
Against.
Councillor Scott Kelly.
Against.
Councillor Victoria Keel.
Against.
Councillor Vanessa King.
Against.
Councillor Ollie Leach.
Against.
Councillor Rob Lee.
Against.
Councillor Scott Lewis. Councillor Jonathan Lord.
For.
Councillor Liam Lyons.
Against.
Councillor Sean MacDonald.
Against.
Councillor Carl Mann.
For.
Councillor Jim McElroy.
Against.
Councillor Masook Mir.
Against.
Councillor Vinnie Mitchell.
For.
Councillor Sinead Mooney.
For.
Councillor Louise Morales.
Against.
Councillor John Morley.
Against.
Councillor Carla Mawson.
Abstain.
Councillor Isabel Mullins.
For.
Councillor Ellen Nicholson.
Against.
Councillor Mark Nutty.
For.
Councillor Rory O'Brien.
Against.
Councillor Jacques Olmo.
Against.
Councillor Ying Perrott.
Against.
Councillor Harry Phillips.
Against.
Councillor George Potter.
Against.
Councillor Catherine Powell.
For.
Councillor Zafar Rassab. Councillor Leslie Rice. Councillor Ian Richardson. Councillor Penny Rivers.
Against.
Councillor Dale Roberts.
Against.
Councillor Shannon Sace Marshall. Councillor Victoria Senna. Councillor Joanne Sexton.
For.
Councillor Joanne Shaw.
Against.
Councillor Sally Shorthose.
Against.
Councillor Lance Spencer.
Against.
Councillor Brian Steele.
Against.
Councillor Katie Steele.
Abstain.
Councillor James Steele.
Abstain.
Councillor Phoebe Sullivan. Councillor Ruth Thompson.
Against.
Councillor James Thornton.
Against.
Councillor Liz Townsend.
Against.
Councillor Paul Vanny.
Against.
Councillor Terry Weldon.
Against.
Councillor Richard Wilson.
Against.
Councillor Catherine Young.
Abstain.
So, Madam Chair, the voting is as follows. For the amendment, 24. Against the amendment, 55. Abstentions, 5. Thank you.
So the amendment falls. Councillor Follows? Oh, I beg your pardon. So we go back to the substantive motion, and I see Councillor Follows and then Councillor Lyons. Councillor Follows.
Thank you, Chair. My thanks to the proposer, seconder and the Spelthorne members in general for bringing this matter forward. I speak in support of this motion, not something I thought I'd be saying a few weeks ago, but a number of conversations have motivated me towards this, and I'll explain a few of them as I go. I will touch briefly on the question of identity, but also some of the operational matters that are before us for the next few months. Now, along with Councillor Keel, I represent a ward in the far south of this new West Surrey. Only Hazelmere ward, with Ollie and Terry, is any further south than my patch in Godalming South, Milford and Whitley. And like many of you outside of Spelthorne, the name of the council didn't come up very much at all on the doorstep during the election. Although I have to say one Godalming resident since had asked me if this would mean at the end of it if we get Lords. I feel like I might have to disappoint them sadly on that front. Now, as it's been mentioned, it didn't come up officially before that neither Surrey County Council or the government decided to ask anybody about the name at all. For me, debates on identity and names are actually very similar to those on rights. I don't feel that either I or the residents I represent are in any way harmed by another group of people within our new area expressing and asserting their identity. In the same way that giving rights to more people doesn't mean you lose rights, only that more people are empowered. And I'm proud that we can have this sort of debate, just about, the debate that we didn't get to have as part of this LGR process. And by the way, if we want to talk about things being suppressed, I remember trying to move an amendment to make it a meaningful vote at Surrey County Council on the entire matter of LGR, and I was denied the right to even move a lawful amendment. Now, I hope the debate we've had here is a good marker that we can have these sorts of identity debates in the chamber, and I'm sure that if members in the centre or the south of this new unitary have a matter of importance and identity to their residents, that we will hear it equally with respect and courtesy, as I know we will. Now, more practically speaking, we have a council to brand, and that is not just a trivial comms exercise, but one that has important consequences, including some statutory requirements, such as council tax bills. Now, I was extremely keen this debate, a debate that was going to happen at some point, that it happened now, where it could be one actually about identity, rather than one in a year's time or in a few months' time, after we had spent money on branding West Surrey, where it would have exclusively been a debate about money, because it would have been a case of can we reopen this, can we rebrand this, and I think that would have been wrong. We also only need to spend money on branding once. And so for anybody saying we shouldn't be talking about this now and it's not important, yes, we're doing lots of other important things, but we have a thing to brand here. If this motion passes tonight, I'll be writing to the government requesting this change be made as part of the mop-up order. And I'll be seeking assurance, written assurance by the government at the end of October that they'll confirm this will happen, because we'll need that assurance to commit to the branding process. So once again, I support this motion, and my thanks to Harry and the Spelthorne team for bringing it. And Jane, I look forward to seeing what letters you get from Lincoln.
Thank you. Lyons, Councillor Lyons.
Thank you very much, Chair. The Conservatives are clearly divided in their attitude to this, in that the Leader of the Opposition questions whether this is a good use of council time, a comment I struggle with after we've had a named vote on whether council meetings take place at 2 p.m. or 7 p.m, but there we are. And by the way, just as an aside, those who are advocating for winter meetings to be at 2 o'clock so we avoid driving home in the dark may wish to look out the window and see the moon shining at us. Some believe that it's unimportant, whereas others believe we should be spending more time debating it. Councillor Brown argued that it would be wrong if we stopped the debate earlier than we did. But perhaps I'm being unfair in the Conservatives, because the Liberal Democrats are equally not necessarily unified on this, in that we have a free vote. It was mentioned earlier that this was some sort of deal done as part of a leadership campaign by one or more of the candidates. I can confirm that that definitely isn't the case, and that Liberal Democrat members are free to vote as they wish. Now, I'm going to finish just with a comment from somebody who represents a ward in the borough of Woking at the moment, where what we call the council is of very little consequence. I could move a motion, perhaps, to name it Greater Woking Council, or Woking and Other Towns Council, Woking being the centre of the universe, of course. However, what matters far more is what we do in the council. That said, Councillor Bopari is telling me that while it doesn't matter very much to residents of Woking, what we call it, it actually matters a huge amount to residents of Spelthorne. And that's the reason I'm going to support it. Why would I stand in the way of allowing a group who are wanting this to seal an important aspect of their identity that's currently missing, just because it doesn't affect my residents? What I can confirm is that adding and South Middlesex onto the end of the name of the council certainly doesn't negatively affect us. So I think I'll leave it there. We have a free vote. I will certainly be supporting it. If we are going to do this, I guess now is the time to do it, because of the issues related to branding. As our leader mentioned a moment ago, far better to do it now than spend hundreds of thousands of pounds changing logos and letterheads in a year's time.
Thank you. Councillor Lee, when you're back in your place, you're next to speak.
Thank you very kindly. Let me just put the password into my computer and not read it out to everyone. There's always someone that's done that, haven't they? So I just noticed that it's nearly 10 o'clock. If we'd started at 2 o'clock, we'd be driving home in peak rush hour right now, just as we finished. Just a quick observation. Anyway, thank you, Chair Penny. So good evening, everyone. Good evening, West Surrey. Good evening, South Middlesex. Good evening, North Hampshire. And, of course, good evening, East Berkshire. It's an honour and a privilege to make my maiden speech. I didn't write it in ChatGPT. I just haven't finished editing that bit out. So, first of all, I would like to pay tribute to those who have represented my new ward prior to myself and Dr Nermal Kang, as we head towards formal office in April 27. I'm sure the date won't be lost on those who chose it as April Fool's Day for vesting day. So to Edward Hawkins as County Councillor, Louise Ashbury, Bob Rakes, John Skipper, Alan Ashbury and David O'Mahony as Borough Councillors, each have served our communities with dedication and commitment, and I'm grateful for the examples they've set and the kindness and support they've given. And I think that's really important to acknowledge those people that come before you, immediately before you, who you take over from. So identity and place are things we hold dear. In my ward, residents have a strong sense of both. They are proud Parksiders, proud to be Frimley residents, proud to be Heathersiders. The latter is home to one of the strongest residents' associations I have ever encountered. Informed, engaged and unafraid to challenge the decisions that affect their community. Their spirit is evident in the debate surrounding proposals to build a new hospital on the Frimley fuel allotments, the final undeveloped part of Frimley Common.
Point of order, Madam Chair. I don't believe this is in relation to the agenda item.
I'm happy to move to the next sentence, not a problem. Identity matters, place matters. Until 2000, South Middlesex was served by the Met Police. Again, on the 1st of April, it changed. It remains north of the River Thames, and is 20% of the new principal council, the other 20%, the other 80% being in Surrey. Russell Grant, in his excellent book, The Real Counties of Britain, helpfully dispels the persistent wicked fable that Middlesex doesn't exist and is merely a postcode county. Other good books from local residents are available from all good booksellers. Middlesex remains an important part of the identity of many of our residents.
30 seconds.
Thank you. In just a few short months, Surrey itself will become a ceremonial county. What better way to recognise and celebrate the identities of our communities we serve than by including both ceremonial counties in the name? And of course, for those who would rather avoid mentioning one or other, it provides a convenient, simple acronym, allaying Councillor Austin's fears by giving us one of the shortest email addresses in history.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm very sorry to disappoint. It is 10 o'clock. We are going to go to Councillor Vanny as his right, because you've reserved your right, and then back to Harry to sum up, and then the vote. Councillor Vanny.
Thank you very much, and thank you, my friend Harry, for proposing this motion, which is not about political expediency, Councillor Austin, or about what goes on the letterhead, Councillor Brown. It is, in fact, about recognising the reality of this mega authority that we are birthing here and ensuring that the name of this new authority reflects the communities it serves. It is profoundly forward-looking. One councillor recently said to me, "What's in a name?" To which I responded, "What is not in a name?" Spelthorne is, of course, part of modern-day Surrey for administrative purposes, but historically, culturally, geographically, it has a distinctive character that sets it apart from the rest of that county. And that distinction is not summed up just by an abstract concept. It's summed up by one word, a name, Middlesex. And that heritage is not a matter of nostalgia. It remains a living part of local identity. Even today, many of the institutions that residents know and support continue to bear the name Middlesex. Sports clubs, a university, a hospital, charities, long-standing community networks retain these historical connections. For many residents, Middlesex is not simply a chapter in a history book. It remains part of who they are. Geographically, yes, Spelthorne is unique within our new authority. Yes, it sits north of the river, but it is also very closely connected to the urban communities of West London. Spelthorne's transport links, economic relationships, and daily routines, daily patterns of life are different from those across the rest of Surrey. It has always felt, dare I say, somewhat grittier, more urban than other parts of Surrey, and it has always looked more inwards towards the city and historic Surrey than outwards, historic Middlesex, than outwards towards the Surrey hills. Socially too, Spelthorne faces challenges that are different. And these challenges are not challenges of nature, but they are challenges of scale. Challenges and differences from the rest of Surrey. While Surrey is often viewed, rightly or wrongly, as affluent and prosperous, parts of Spelthorne experience record-breaking levels of deprivation, health inequalities and environmental pressures.
30 seconds.
And these realities deserve recognition, not invisibility. And this point about invisibility is central here. A great many people in Spelthorne have the perception that they have been dumped on for years by Surrey County Council, ignored. If this authority wants to bring the 100,000 residents of Spelthorne with them, it has to make this decision now. And if we fail to do this today, our authority will face a credibility deficit for decades to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Vanny.
Point of order, Madam Chair. I apologise, but I believe procedure permits you that when we reach 10 p.m. you should take a vote on whether we wish to end the meeting after this item. But I believe we've just had a move to the end of the debate with councillors still waiting to speak without a vote of members. Can I just clear that that is the correct provision of the Constitution, please?
Yes, through you, Chair. We're working on the Council Procedure Rule regarding motions, Councillor Potter, which says that motions must be a maximum of 60 minutes. In terms of duration, there is a provision at 10 p.m. for the Chair to take a vote on continuing to the next item of business, if appropriate, but there is no next item of business after the motions item. So it's not appropriate to take a vote on extending the meeting, and we should finish the motions at 6 o'clock and go straight to the vote. Sorry, 10 o'clock. After 60 minutes was what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Everybody, quiet, 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 quiet. Councillor Bopari.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you to all the colleagues from across the chamber who have spoken so passionately in favour of this motion, and I'm really, from each one of the 107,000 residents of Spelthorne, we thank you from our hearts, so thank you so much. History remembers the choices we make and will record whether councillors of this new authority on this day recognised over 1,000 years of history and the identity of 107,000 residents who make up 1/6 of this new authority. Therefore, I'm sorry guys, I'm going to have to do this to you again. Please, Chair, I will be requesting a recorded vote. It all boils down to one simple question. Should the name of the new authority reflect all of the communities it serves, or only some of them? I'm confident that you will vote for history, equality and respect. Thank you.
Councillor Bopari, do you have 10 people in support of that? I think you do.
Thank you, Chair. Right, this is the vote on the original motion as altered of Councillor Bopari's. I will begin with Councillor Bilal Akhtar.
Against.
Councillor Alan Ashbury.
For.
Councillor Atiya Aslan. Councillor Maureen Atwa.
Against.
Councillor Jane Austin.
Against.
Councillor Anne-Marie Barker.
For.
Councillor Sally Barker. Councillor Laura Barker. Councillor Richard Barrett. Councillor Phil Basie. Councillor Chris Bateson.
For.
Councillor Harleen Bopari. Councillor Harry Bopari. Councillor Ben Bristow.
For.
Councillor Josh Brown. Sorry.
Yes. Members, while this recorded vote is being counted or called for, could you please not speak?
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Brown, you are against, is that correct? Correct. Councillor Keith Buchanan.
For.
Councillor Jamie Calder.
For.
Councillor Paul Deach.
Against.
Councillor Kevin Denis. Councillor David Evans.
For.
Councillor Tony Fairclough.
For.
Councillor Paul Follows.
For.
Councillor Matt Furness. Councillor George Gladstone New. Councillor Angela Goodwin.
Abstain.
Councillor Peter Graves. Councillor Steve Greentree. Councillor Marisa Heath.
Against.
Councillor Richard Herman. Councillor Steve Hives.
For.
Councillor Julie Hode. Councillor Chris Howarth.
Against.
Councillor Jonathan Hutt.
Against.
Councillor Ian Johnson. Councillor Sabi Kang.
For.
Councillor Nirmal Kang.
For.
Councillor Scott Kelly. Councillor Victoria Keel.
For.
Councillor Vanessa King.
For.
Councillor Ollie Leach.
For.
Councillor Rob Lee.
Proudly for.
Councillor Scott Lewis. Councillor Jonathan Lord.
For.
Councillor Liam Lyons.
For.
Councillor Sean MacDonald.
For.
Councillor Carl.
Abstain.
Councillor Jim McElroy. Councillor Masook Mia.
For.
Councillor Vinnie Mitchell. Councillor Sinead Mooney.
Against.
Councillor Emily Fowlers.
For.
Councillor John Morley.
For.
Councillor Carla Mawson.
Abstain.
Councillor Isabel Mullins.
For.
Councillor Ellen Nicholson.
For.
Councillor Mark Newty. Councillor Rory O'Brien. Councillor Jacques Olmo.
For.
Say that again, please.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Ying Perrett.
For.
Councillor Harry Phillips.
For.
Councillor George Potter.
For.
Councillor Catherine Powell. Oh, she's left. Okay, sorry. Councillor Zafar Rassab.
For.
Councillor Leslie Rice. For. Councillor Ian Richardson.
For.
Councillor Penny Rivers.
For.
Councillor Dale Roberts.
For.
Councillor Shannon Sace Marshall. Councillor Victoria Senna. Councillor Joanne Sexton.
For.
Councillor Joanne Shaw.
For.
Councillor Sally Shorthouse.
For.
Councillor Lance Spencer.
For.
Councillor Brian Steele.
For.
Councillor Katie Steele.
Abstain.
Councillor James Steele.
Abstain.
Councillor Phoebe Sullivan. Councillor Ruth Thompson.
For.
Councillor James Thornton.
For.
Councillor Liz Townsend.
For.
Councillor Paul Vanny.
For.
Councillor Terry Weldon.
For.
Councillor Richard Wilson.
For.
And Councillor Catherine Young. She's left as well. Okay, so for the motion, 58 members. Against the motion, 15 and 9 abstentions. So the motion is carried.
Thank you. Thank you. I will allow that. And so, because that